Hey everyone, back again. I'm really sorry for how inconsistent I've been. Um, let's just say things were going on. Uh, Today, I feel like these videos I want to record for them to be there just for the sake of it, because I feel these would serve a very good devlog as to something that I've been working upon. And I feel that I wanted to present it out there for it will be good for me to be out there with this, knowing that this is something that I'm actively working upon, and knowing that this is like sort of a, I would say, a to-do list for me. Not really a to-do list, more like a accountability thing. So I want to show you something that I have been working upon for past, I don't know, been a very long time. I've been developing this thing a pretty long time. So what I want to show you today is something call EnigmaDB. It's a database that I've been working upon. The idea is that in all honesty, like the AI brain rot that has been going around, I just wanted things to, like something that I can probably keep as something that is like there for me that I can actively keep and like have some sort of a brain check for myself, like not overlying and building things from scratch. It might be a little too complicated, but yeah, who cares? Complicated things are always fun to build, right? So I just want to show you where I am today. This is the first devlog. It's 1st of August. It's literally 2 a.m. right now. I think 1:28 actually. Yeah, 1:28 a.m. Generally, I stay up very late, so it's not really a big deal for me. I'll probably be sleeping around 3 or 4 a.m. So, anyways, so I want to show you how far I have come. What is something that I'm actively working upon as of right now, and in all honesty, what are my goals around Enigma? So to show you the capabilities, Enigma right now only contains a storage engine, like the storage engine that I'm building. Right now, rest everything is completely empty. There's like an IO layer, and the thing that you need to know is that this thing works, compiles fully in macOS, because so far I've been using that for development. I am individually testing it on Linux machines as well, because I have a Linux implementation for this as well. Well, my idea was that I wanted to go and implement it fully on, for at least for modern Linux, completely on IO Uring. So that would be there soon as well. So as you can see, the IO layer is like quite compatible with both Linux and Apple. The only thing that might be there is like a few parts that I haven't really tested, majorly parts that I'm actively working upon. So within the storage, I think I found compaction to be extremely fun. FY. So first of all, what is Enigma? Enigma is a wide column store. It's very similar to Cassandra. It logically it would, if you see how my plans go for this, it would support plenty of things. So like multi-node, like masterless replication, or what else? Like I don't know. Like I haven't really, I haven't really like this. So this is just me being candid out there. Like I'm just saying what's coming to my head, and I cannot certainly I cannot bring all the jargon up, but I want to show you the recent thing that I've been working upon. Plenty of things here left, but still. So, oh, you're more than welcome to go through the code. I'll be posting it down below. If there are any actually like engineers who are much better in C++ and in databases, please do let me know. I would really love people actually checking the code and reviewing and mentioning that what I've done is correct or incorrect. More than happy to do that. But yeah. So to give you a very, very small example as to what are some things that I've been working on, at least for compaction part, you can see we create an engine, the wherever this engine would store its data, and then a temp directory, which is nothing but just a way of creating a directory and then getting rid of it. Then I create a compactor, create a storage engine, and then down below, if you see, once we have our like storage, I don't think this is needed though. Like I think this can be removed now. I will have to check that again because I recently did a refactor around it. But yeah, so the storage engine also have a memtable size, which is passed here. Just pass it preemptively, very huge. And then you have the storage engine itself. I set a compaction configuration because compaction by default, I set it to 2 and 4, so which means like, so this is a size tiered compaction, which means like minimum if if two SS tables are identified, it's going to compact them down. Insert like almost 8,000 records here and delete 4,000 records here. That overall, because I'm calling flush again, it overall creates 16 SS table files. And once these SS table files are created, here, if you see, I did do compact work. This actually just runs the compactor, and the idea is that instead of 16 files, I should have one. But the test making sure that all the keys that were there and were supposed to be there should be found, and the keys that were deleted should be deleted, because I think that's the general idea of compaction. So I want to show you what happens if I was to run this guy. Let's see. So I run this guy. You'll see it starts up. There is something going on with the startup. There's a cache error, but like it's a piece that I have to work up on yet. Anyhow, let's go here. You'll see I'm just on a different like tab in Tmux. I open this guy. The test is still on pause, so I want to show you what is inside here. You'll see that I have 16 SS table files. Completely unreadable, of course, because they are binary, but you can, of course, read them, as I have a tool built just for this. I do compaction, tests, SS table, and let's open up any one of them, maybe ninth one, and you'll see that this is how the table looks like. It has a footer of, I think, 56 bytes, and a bunch of things so that I can have an easier time figuring out what is inside there. And then these are the coded blocks. So this is like a visualization. This is not actually how the coded blocks are encoded, but there is an encoding and decoding function in there that actually handles that. But if I was to run this compaction part, you see that if I go back, you see just one file now. And the coolest part is if I was to run this test, of course it passes. And so one thing that I recently found out, by the way, is that you can now, like, I think it's been there for a pretty long time. This is just me and then like not working hard to figure that out. But yeah, I didn't know that CMake had presets. So as you saw, the tests worked, and these are the CMake presets that I have. So by the way, if you guys want to try it, go over to the repository, try building this thing, see what you maybe what you find fun. Core motivation of Enigma comes from rocks. I'm super interested in databases. Something that I've been trying recently was, so there's this cool thing that I read. I want to give it a shot. The idea is that what happens if the process of compaction runs in the kernel space? The idea is that we can build a custom Linux kernel, given that the eBPF instructions allow only 1 million budget. What we can do is we can like compile a different Linux kernel that is like we can have remove that particular budget from. So what I found out is work. So where it actually sits is if you go inside include within Linux, and then here, if you search for eBPF, actually BPF. Yeah. So within this file, there is a field, a defined field. All right, there we go. After a bit of pressing enters, I found it. It's called BPF complexity limit INS. So yeah, 1 million instructions. General sort of idea. This is something that I've been trying to get my head into. The idea being that maybe I can compile rocks or even Enigma to try and run this compaction within the kernel space and see what happens. I'm no expert in this, but nothing hurts to try things out, right? But yeah, that's it. That's it for Enigma. I will be like creating this regularly. These are more for me because I think this would keep me consistent to build this thing out. It's been a very long time I've been building this, so I hope you tag along. But yeah, that's it. That's it for this video. I'm gonna call these logs. That's for this log.